politics. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has lashed out at President Bola Tinubu's administration following last weekend's by-elections across the country. The party notes that the conduct of Saturday exercise showed that democracy has declined under the current administration. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, conducted by-elections in 16 constituencies across 12 states in the country. A statement by the ADC's interim National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, alleged that the by-election were riddled with widely reported violence, vote buying, manipulation, and other administrative lapses. Abdullahi said Saturday's exercise represents the clearest indication of a dress rehearsal for the 2027 general elections. For this conversation, I have with me the former governorship candidate of the Accord Party, Kennedy Iyere, as well as a political analyst, Rasaq Olokoooba. Thank you very much for joining us on tonight. Let me start with you, Mr. Olokoooba. I'm sure you followed and monitored the by-elections at the weekend. How would you describe the conduct of the exercise generally, especially with the allegations flying around?
Content and character. The attitude of a political class is not particularly different from what we have been seeing. The moment election is won by political class, they commend INEC for doing a very good job. And the seemingly loser also go to time, like a town crier, to say that INEC has done a very bad job. You see, for us, we have to look at the indices of the election that qualifies the election as free, fair, or if it's not free or fair, we have to look at it. First, what is the performance of INEC as an institution, as the election umpire? What's their performance? From feelers we got from our colleagues on the field and all the state that the election held, we got an impressive feedback that INEC did a very good job. They go to many of the locations early enough for them to conduct their exercise. And I don't think there's any state that had issue with INEC in that instance. So we give kudos to INEC for doing a very good job. There's the security personnel who also ensure that the election must be free and fair. What's their conduct too? Are they compromised? Are they civilized in their conduct? Are they out to do the job they are assigned to do? So if you look at the performance and the attitude of policemen on that day, you will agree with me that we have a radical departure from what the police used to do in the past, where political class will say they are compromised. I've not seen any instance, except that they even arrested some politicians for what they are doing. So then we move quickly to the political parties themselves. Political parties themselves, I don't think there's any polling booth that any of those parties do not have their agent. So the whole question of misconduct, we have to ask them to explain to you from who. Is it police? Is it INEC? Is it that your agents are absent at your polling booth? So for us, we are getting closer to where we could call the captain of our fate. The people who are out to decide their fate, and I don't think it is not the expression of what the people want. It's a clear expression of what the people want. Where there's an impressive turnout, fine. We must commend the people that come out. Where there's low turnout, that's the attitude of the people. You cannot push that on anybody, either the government of the day or INEC. We had like a daily discussion with INEC these days on how they can improve on their election, on their performance, and what they can do on the days of election of what happened over the weekend. So, and they appear to be willing to take advice and opinion of the Nigerians. serious.
Okay, it is yet to be seen how willing they are to take advice and from whom. That is also very important. Let's talk to former governorship candidate, member of the Accord Party. I want to be sure you're still a member of the Accord Party. So far, we've had some reactions to the election. We've had the PDP describe it as a sham. We also have both the ADC and the LP saying it's a dress rehearsal for 2027. What can you tell us about your party's reaction to the by-election that just happened over the weekend?
Are you talking to me?
I'm actually talking to Mr. Iyere.
Oh, okay. Because I'm shocked. I'm not a member of our Accord Party.
Okay, I don't think we have the connection with Iyere, so I'll stay with you, Mr. Olokoooba. You talked about INEC being ready to listen and perhaps implement some suggestion. What specific electoral reforms do you think that INEC can implement to prevent these repeated allegations of irregularities in the future elections?
The political party need to put their acts together, and they need to stop passing buck when it comes to who should be held responsible for their failure. You know very well that many political parties are not doing well at the moment, and they have a penchant for holding you one man responsible for the woe that they are passing through. In the rickety shape that the PDP is.
Okay, so I do understand, Mr. Olokoooba, I do understand that the parties have their issues. Are you saying that there was nothing about this election that you think INEC can improve on ahead of the election we're expecting to hold in 2027?
Well, you see, the role of INEC and the work they do is not an error-free process. If we don't have a regular interaction with them, we must also assume, like any other regular Nigerians. But they have challenges, just like any other institution. Overbearing influence of political class is there, which I think we have to thoroughly work on. The institution must be thoroughly independent, like the name indicates, Independent National Electoral Commission. They must be thoroughly independent. For instance, we have to do something about who becomes the INEC chairman. Overbearing influence of the political class must be reduced, both at national and at state level. If I am going to be involved in an election and I'm going to take part in how the INEC chairman is going to emerge, definitely it's natural for me to ensure that someone who's going to dance on my tool will be there. It's natural. Obajo is not responsible for that. Jonathan is not responsible for that. And Buhari and Tinubu is not responsible for that. That's the institution of grant. And that's one of the biggest challenges I think INEC has at the moment. If you are able to reduce the influence of a political class on INEC, they will perform one better. You know quite all right that at the moment, we have over 100 million registered voters. That's huge coming from INEC. So they did their best, and what we also have to work on is how do we achieve a seamless logistic exercise where ballot paper can get to wherever they are going on time so the election can begin. That's the area of challenge. And that has nothing to do only with INEC. It's a challenge that is a universal thing. I mean, in Nigeria, it's a universal challenge that we have. The origin exercise in the country is not doing very well. So we make do with what we have. So INEC also make do with what they have on the day of election. So there's nothing we can do. Another area I think INEC needs to work on is to have consistent and periodic political education for politicians so that you prepare their mind that the election you are going into is either you are going to win or you are going to lose. Many political class don't prepare for a loss, and that's why you see that kind of desperation in them. That education is important so that an opposition will be like an opposition. An opposition is a political opponent. It's not.
All right, Mr. Olokoooba, I think you've made some fair contributions as to what needs to change in the coming months ahead of the elections expected in 2027. That's all the time we have for this conversation. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you very much for having me.